you know, people who are on the 100% plan are going to get a bill every month and they're gonna write that off.
Right.
It is a little different when you're on the split, because you don't get 1099 for the part that we take out of it.
Right.
But you will
Which is
see
still an
on your,
expense.
but you will see, you can't really write that off because you're not 1099, we've already taken it off the
Not
top.
really earning it.
So you
Oh, I
haven't
see.
earned it, you
Okay.
haven't actually received it. But if you wanna see what your gross is and how much you paid in on your spreadsheet that Rachel sends, you can see every time, this
Right.
is what, you know, you earned, this was your gross commissions, this is what Remax got paid, and this is what you got paid.
So,
So
but what
you'll see
Remax
that.
got paid, that's not considered an expense, but we do figure it
You
into the
can't
budget.
write that off because we've already written it off for you.
Okay.
So when you get your 1099, it's already off of there.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
Make
Thank you.
sense?
You just need to know how much gross you're gonna, you need to earn.
That's right.
Right, so
Just
it
look
has
at
to
the
be
gross.
counted, added in as an expense in the budget, but not for taxes.
Correct.
Got it, okay.
Correct. So now you've got your number of transactions needed. So Sue, just do that number. So if it's 9,654,
654, 9,654.
and we're gonna kind of go in between those two sales prices and say the average sales price is 225.
225. It's 42.9.
So
So
43
43.
transactions.
So divided by 12, that's 4 a month.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah. When people see 40 transactions, they freak out and think, oh my God, how many 40 transactions in here? Well, it's 4 a month, it's really not that bad.
Yeah, it's 1 a week.
Right, one a week. Okay, so now what's our plan to get there? So we go to the next page, and we're gonna kind of do a 90-day plan. You know, Andrea was just talking about the 12-week year. Sometimes when we plan out for an entire year, we don't tend to achieve things as well as we do when we do it in 12-week increments, so 90 days. Because if we just say, okay, I need to do 40 transactions this year, and then I goof off for the first quarter, well, now suddenly I've got to do a whole heck of a lot more in my spring, or you're trying to catch up at the end of the year. So if we really plan it out in 90-day increments and really, again, focus just on those 90 days, we're gonna be more productive and be ahead of the game, especially in January, February, weather gets bad, people don't wanna go out, you'd rather stay in your jammies at home and, you know, watch the Today Show and all that stuff. But if you have your plan.
Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm, I know you. I know what you're doing.
Well, I'm working my job. I sit at my desk and working on it. You know.
The creative.
Yeah, exactly.
You all are welcome to make copies of this. If you don't want to write on it today, you want to take notes on a separate piece of paper so you can continue to make copies, or I'm happy to make more copies for you if you want to write on this. So that your next 90 days, starting March 1st, you can have a new one of these
Yeah.
and you continue, okay? So, your current closed and pending. So hopefully some of you guys have some things already in January on the books. That's awesome, I've heard it's been picking up, so.
Question,
Uh-huh.
I'm very literal minded. What's considered pending, like upcoming settlement or
It would be
potential business?
Under contract.
Under
It
contract,
needs to be at least under contract.
Okay.
So if you, I mean, obviously current close, that's not gonna be for your first quarter of the year because you haven't closed it yet. So
Okay.
right now, you guys would just have pending. Because we're talking about 2019, so you haven't closed it yet. So you'll know what that closed and pending income is, projected, right? And then your business expenses for that month. And you know, again, if you just wanna use an average, because, you know, you get hit with a little bit more at the end of the year, because that's when all your dues and, you know, all that stuff kinda comes up. So, but you can average it out. So in order to make that happen, how many appointments will you go on in the next 90 days? I will tell you, it usually is 1 to 5, and it depends on who you're calling, because if you're cold calling, it's more than that. But if you make 20 phone calls, you may get 5 appointments. And if you're not, so those are numbers that you need to track, and for those of you guys who have the Buffini system and you track your numbers, it's gonna tell you exactly what your numbers are for you, specifically. But I would count on, if you make 20 phone calls, you should be able to get 5 appointments. But for you, it may be more, depending on who you're calling and, you know, how warm those leads are, that kind of thing. So track it, because if you've gotta make 50 to get 5, and then of those 5, it's 5 to 1 again, of those 5 appointments, 1 may turn into a sale. Because you're gonna meet with people who aren't qualified, you're gonna meet with people who aren't ready to sell yet, and maybe a future sale, but their house isn't ready, they're not ready. You may be meeting with someone who is, you know, they're waiting for the school year to begin. So you've got a lot of things, as we all know, when you make that appointment. Sometimes people are just curious and just wanna know what the market value is, and, you know, they may be doing something the next 5 years. So, just always think of the 1 to 5, but then track your own numbers. And again, if you're using a CRM, the Buffini system, Tom Ferry, any of the CRMs that you have out there, if you are diligently putting in how many calls you make, how many notes you do, how many Popeyes you do, it will spit out the numbers for you next year for exactly how many calls, how many notes, and how many contacts that you need to make to get your sales numbers. Make sense? But if you don't know, 1 to 5. So, if you wanna do, if we're gonna go with that goal, and it's for a month, and I'm gonna do 12 transactions in my first quarter, that means I'm gonna need, if I wanna do one a week, I'm probably gonna need to have 5 appointments every week, so they get 1. If it takes me 20 phone calls or 20 contacts to get that 1, I better be writing that into my activities management of I need to make 4 calls a day, 4 phone calls a day, maybe follow those up with 4 notes a day. And you do your quarterly Popeyes to get your 1 appointment a week. Well, actually 5 appointments a week, that 1's probably gonna turn into a sale. Make sense? So if we do those numbers per month, 20 times 4, 80 phone calls, you know, so you can kind of get the numbers. Again, for those of you who have the Buffini system, it's going to spit, and you've been tracking it, it's going to spit out, or they'll use their global numbers for what works for other people, and it'll spit out exactly what the plan is.
That's
Okay?
using the Buffini CRM.
Yeah. Yeah. When you go in, you'll put in your business plan for the year. It has a business plan section, and you can put that in and track it.
We have to pay extra for that, right? I mean,
you're-
if we're not paying for it, then we're not getting it. We can't use it, right?
Correct. If you're not getting the
Their
Buffini
CRM.
box every month, you will not get their CRM.
Okay.
I don't know of any CRM out there that you can use that you're not paying something for.
Right. Yeah.
There will be, I can tell you that Remax, with the new Bouge technology that's coming out this spring, you're gonna have that more robust, and that will be in there. So,
Okay.
it won't be exactly Buffini, but it's gonna be more robust, and you'll have more of that kind of information.
Okay, cool.
Okay?
And that'll be ready in the spring?
Yes. They're doing beta testing on it right now. They do it alpha testing, beta testing, and
Kappa testing.
they just wanna make sure that when it rolls out, hopefully not like Bright MLS, that when it rolls out, it's user-friendly. There's always glitches when something new comes out, but they wanna make sure it's as user-friendly as possible when it actually gets out there. Okay, so here we go. These listings will come from the following sources. So now you need to know where you need to spend your time. We know that 80% of the business comes from repeat and referral business, 80% across the board. That's why we teach you that. That's why we teach you, you know, the referral business and getting out there with your spear. That's where 80% of it will absolutely come from if you are working it. But it's good to track it, because again, can you say, where should I be spending my marketing dollars? Well, if you happen to spend marketing dollars on some website that really did give you quite a few leads, then you want to continue that. If it didn't, put your money someplace else or cut it out. So this is something that you all can do for not just the upcoming year, but look at your last year. Where did it come from? Where did my listings come from? How many listings came from that? And the same with the buyers. And if you want to do 40 transactions a year, a good healthy business is about 50-50. You'd rather be higher on the listing side if you can be than the buyer side. But a healthy business is 50% listings, 50% buyers.
Unless you're a buyer's agent.
Yeah, obviously if you're a buyer's agent on a team, then, but your
Please, I don't
team
wanna think
leader,
I'm unhealthy.
but then your team leader is higher on the listing end, they're doing the listings, and they're gonna maybe be 75% listings.
I don't have a team leader.
And you're gonna be, and you're gonna be. But, your name, I mean, listings, you get leads from listings. You know, your sign's out there, people see it in the neighborhood. You can send just sold, you send just listed, you know, all of the things out there, and you leverage more of your time with the listing. You know, buyers take a lot of time. Wonderful, great, we're there to serve, but you can let, other people are showing your listing to get it sold when you have listings. So a healthy business has to have listings. If you're only working with buyers, then we're gonna talk about how you wanna change that and get some more listings on the book to be healthy. And then the same thing with your buyer sales goals. Where did they come from? Did they come from open houses? Did they come from your sphere? Again, 80% is gonna come from your sphere. That's where you wanna be spending most of your time. So during this 90-day period, your listings sold goal, because obviously if you have listings, they're not all going to sell, correct? So if you want a 50-50, if you need a 50-50, and it's 50-50, and you want, out of that 12, you want 6 listings to sell, you're probably gonna need 10 listings on the market to get 6 to sell. So your goal always needs to be a little higher than what you, because there's some are just not gonna sell. It's gonna be either, you know, pricing issue or market issue or whatever it is, and if you get 10 to sell, awesome, you're over your goal. But always remember, you need to have more listings than what's gonna sell. Same with buyers. If you want, if you want 6 of those people to be buyers, you're probably gonna need to be working with 8 or 9 buyers, because if some of them aren't gonna find what they want, they're gonna get outbid, things happen, So, on your marketing initiatives to complete, I've got on the very back part of your, if you go to page 10 in your packet, it'll say page 10 of the momentum. Here's all of the things that you can start writing in there that you should be doing on a daily basis for your marketing initiatives. So don't tell me you don't know what to do.
You better not.
We all know calls, notes, and Popeyes, number one, how many times I dream that at night. But this is your vital activities that you're gonna be doing to get these things to close. Because it's not just a matter of, hey, once you've got it under contract, you gotta get it to close too. And sometimes we know navigating those waters can be tough. You gotta be creative. You got buyers who wanna freak out after a home inspection. How do you keep that together? What do you do? How do you have those negotiating skills? How do you be creative to continue to get the deal done? Are you working with your lender regularly? Jen's back there, to make sure that things are getting moved forward, or if anything changes along the way. What do we need to do? I just have a deal right now that I'm working with one of our agents that's gotten very sticky because there's a lot of repairs on this house that nobody thought were gonna need to be done. So we're talking, do we need to switch it to 203K rehab, something like that. Don't just let the deal fall apart. It's your job to get it to settlement too. So, being creative and making sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to get it to settlement. So some of these activities in here are the things you're doing not just your calls, notes, and pop-bys, but do you need to follow up? So all of your vital agent responsibilities for listing and for buyers, and then you're gonna see your 47 listing activities on the next page. And then your 47 buyer activities on the next page. So as you're coming up with your plan, your marketing initiatives to complete, and basically your daily schedule every day, this is your resource. So don't say, gee, I don't know what to do today, not sure. If you don't have any appointments on the books, don't just stop with 4 phone calls. You may have to make 20 contacts in that one day, not just 4. So, until you reach your goals for the appointments that you want on your book. So if you want 1 a week, you want 4, you keep calling until you can get those 4 appointments on your book, on your books. Make sense? And there's the activities that you're gonna do. So, we want to go back to that part of your affirmation for the next 90 days. So we kind of wrote a general affirmation at the very beginning for, our year, what our entrepreneurial mantra is, and our affirmation. But now what are we going to do for the next 90 days? So if we know those numbers, maybe your affirmation is, I'm so happy and thankful and grateful that I get to work with 6 buyers and 6 sellers in the next 90 days. I'm so happy and thankful and grateful that, I have earned, $100,000 in commissions in the next 90 days. So make some sort of affirmation just for the next 90 days. Let's see where we go. So you guys want to take a couple minutes to do that?
And that I want to do is I'm so happy and grateful that all of my pending business makes it to closing.
I don't think that that's a positive affirmation.
Mine's definitely not positive.
They don't close.
I'm so happy and thankful and grateful that I got to work with 4, 5, what do you have on?
4.
4, so I'm so happy and thankful and grateful that, but you wanna think about for the whole quarter, 90 days, so not just that month. I'm so happy and thankful and grateful that I had 12 closings,
Okay.
by March 31st.
Easy,
Yes.
successful,
Yes.
pleasant.
So happy, thankful, and grateful that I had easy, successful, pleasant closings, 12 by March 31st.
Got it.
2000.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's helpful to put the date on there,
Yeah,
put an end
okay.
date on there, because this
Okay.
is your 90 days, and so by this date, that's what I've accomplished.
That is a little more positive.
So, yes.
Be glad that they made it.
Well, again, that's what we're here for, that's what I'm here for, to help support you guys. If something's falling apart, don't just, they walked away because of this or that, or what. You gotta be creative sometimes, and there's creative ideas out there that I've heard from a lot of different agents in this office, and I've dealt with myself, that, it's not done till it's done, and you gotta help sometimes get it through the process, so. So don't ever hesitate to call
God bless Kay.
Lisa Kay or myself to help you guys work through a difficult situation and make sure that there's not another solution out there to help get it through. That's what we're here for. So. All right, your next page is your boring homework page, but you do need to do that. That's your expenses. So Sandy, when you're saying, what am I writing off? This can help be a guide, a list for you.
Okay.
If you all are self-employed and you do not have an accountant doing because you don't want to pay for an accountant to do your taxes, pay for the accountant to do your taxes.
Yep.
I'm just telling you, they're gonna come up with things that you can write off. They're gonna make sure that you've done it correctly. They're gonna make sure that you get the most money back in your pocket, and it's worth every single penny. Talk about return on investment to pay that accountant.
And they changed some of
do
the
your
laws, like
taxes.
there's some
Oh,
things
yeah.
that changed.
Yeah,
There's a
They
lot of
changed a lot of
changes.
them.
And it changes every year, and again, that's not our job to keep up with that. You need the professional who keeps up with all that stuff, so they know what they're doing, and you didn't miss something, and you could have written something off.
Keep it all and
Yeah.
turn it into them.
Yeah. Try not to show up to them with a big shoebox of receipts. You can have it organized in an Excel sheet or QuickBooks. That's what I love about QuickBooks, because my accountant can just go right into QuickBooks, look at my stuff and do it. I don't even have to do anything. It's already all there. So, try to make it organized and make your life easy at the end of the day. But without your expenses and knowing what they are, you have no business. So that's your homework. And the second page that we have in here, we kind of already talked about where on the first page with Tom Ferry, where does your stuff come from? But again, this is just a sort of a memory jogger for you. Where is your business coming from? And then you know where you need to put did it come from your network? For sale by owners, there's not very many of those out there anymore. Expired open houses, you're farming, all those vital activities that you're doing. And if you're finding that you're not getting enough just from your sphere, go to that list. What else could I be doing to try to get more business? And that's just kind of a jogger for you. And then, of course, you have your responsibilities at the very end. Okay? Does that help everyone?
Yes.
I know we kind of get into the numbers, it gets kind of draggy and boring. We go back to the beginning, what keeps us from reaching our goal, and that affirmation, and make sure you have it in front of you every single day to help you get there. And then we'll help support you every 90 days to make sure we got the next thing going on.
The only thing I wrote was I hope I don't kill my husband.
Thank you guys, pizza's on, so enjoy lunch.
Edit that part out.
Now we have the evidence.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on the next, Who Done It.